Chapter 35 Meeting of Grutsamada and Ganesha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Muni Gargya recounted the legend of Mukunda to the king. Unrequited love had left her listless. She could not find happiness anywhere and in anything. Rukmangada was constantly invading her thoughts. She kept remembering him and was grief-stricken. Indra, assuming the form of Rukmangada, came there to satisfy her lust. Indra, in the form of Rukmangada, woke her up. Indra indulged with her and happily returned to Swarga. Following their union, Mukunda became pregnant. She went about her chores as usual. Vachakanavi Muni returned home after finishing his religious rituals. He was engrossed in penance and was unaware of Mukunda's adultery. In due course, Mukunda gave birth to a son. Vachakanavi rejoiced at the birth of a child. He performed rituals such as Jatakarma, etc. as ordained. After completing all rituals and initiation as per tradition, he was named Grutsamada. When he became 5 years old, his thread ceremony was performed with great joy. He had an great memory. Vachakanavi taught the Vedas to his son. He taught the Ganesha mantra from the Rigveda, Gananam Tva, to his son. Grutsamad Muni continuously chanted the mantra and meditated on Vignesha with devotion to please him. One day the king of Magadha invited him to the Shraddha ceremony of his father. He was invited as he was proficient in yoga and observed austerities like Sama and Dama. Munis like Vasishta and others graced the assembly with their presence. The king honored them appropriately. A discussion on the scriptures commenced. Grutsamada was explaining the Shastras to those who were knowledgeable in yoga, even though he was not proficient in yoga. Listening to him, Atri Rishi said, "You are not a yogi. You are the son of Rukmangada, a Kshatriya. You do not qualify to sit amongst yogis. Yet you are giving a discourse on yoga. Therefore, return to your ashram immediately." Grutsamada was filled with wrath and returned to his ashram. He questioned his mother, his eyes red with rage. "You are a shameless and lustful woman. Tell me the truth about my father. Am I the son of Rukmangada? Tell me the truth. Otherwise I shall curse you." Fearing that her son will curse her, she stood trembling in fright. She recounted the adultery committed. Listening to the truth from his mother, he cursed her. He said, "You shall become an unattractive, thorny, berry-bearing bora plant, Indian jujube plant. O evil woman, no human will eat your bitter fruits. You will live despicable life in the forests. This is the result of your earlier sins." Mukunda too was enraged and he immediately pronounced a curse on her son. "You will beget a son who will be a dreaded, terrifying Rakshasa." Thereafter, Mukunda sacrificed her body. The immoral woman was reborn as a thorny tree in the forest. Since she had behaved inappropriately with a Ganesh devotee, she had incurred a grave sin. Hence, she was cursed. As a result, she was born as a tree in every eon and suffered grief. O king, this is the nature of obstacles that one faces. The distressed Grutsamada, who thought that he was a Kshatriya, had decided to sacrifice his body and commit suicide. Just then there was a consoling celestial announcement from the skies. It said, "O proud one, O Grutsamada, your father is Indra, who had assumed the guise of Rukmangada and had indulged with your mother. Therefore, O Grutsamada, you must worship Lambodara to attain happiness." Heeding to the heavenly announcement, Grutsamada went to a forest. He observed intense penance. He remained without food and engaged in singing bhajans of Ganesha. He chanted the Ganesh mantra continuously to attain Brahmanhood. He was proficient in Vedas, so he praised the Lord by chanting Brahmanaspati Sukta. Aila asked, "O Lord, what is Brahmanaspati Sukta Mandala and what are the benefits of chanting it for humans? You are merciful and omniscient. Please tell me the procedure as ordained by the scriptures to please Vigneshwara." Gargi Muni explained to Aila, "Listen to the procedure of chanting the Brahmanaspati Sukta by which Grutsamada attained Siddhis. Firstly, one should perform Nyasa of the 16 body parts while chanting the mantra Gananam Tva. Nyasa involves touching the various parts of the body while chanting specific portions of a mantra. This should be followed by performing of Abhisheka of the idol of Ganesha and reciting the Sukta 21 times. This is one cycle. When a cycle is repeated 21 times, one should complete a mandala. This must be comprehended by the learned. Pandits believe that 21 mandalas constitute one Mahamandala. One Mahamandala must be performed during an Abhisheka for it to grant all siddhis. Whenever a ritual is performed with the intention of acquiring dharma, wealth, desire and liberation, one must perform the Mahamandala with devotion to please Ganesha. This is appropriate. It grants divinity. Grutsamada chanted the Brahmanaspati Sukta and completed a Mahamandala as he wanted to attain Brahminhood. I have explained the rituals during the puja. Now listen to how Grutsamada performed the sin-absolving deeds to attain Vignesha. Grutsamada would chant the mantra Gananam Tva and perform the puja of Ganesha, observing all the ordained rituals. He would chant the Sukta 21 times daily with single-pointed focus during the Abhisheka. Then he performed the japa of the mantra Gananam Tva 2100 times daily with devotion. He would focus his vision on the tip of the nose and would perform austere penance to please Vigneshwara. He pleased Vignaraja after 1,000 heavenly years of worship. Pleased with his penance, Gajanana, the one who loves his devotees, manifested near his beloved devotee Grutsamada, who was in a state of deep meditation. He granted him a boon. He said to Grutsamada, O eminent Muni, open your eyes. I am Brahmanaspati and have come to grant you a boon. I am pleased with your devotion and shall grant whatever you desire. Hearing these words, Grutsamada opened his eyes and saw Dunti standing before him. He was extremely happy and offered pranams to Vinayaka and performed his puja. He sang the praise of Ganesha, eyes filled with tears of joy. Thus ends the 35th chapter titled Meeting of Grutsamada and Ganesha in the 5th Khand of the Purana Upanishad, Srimad Mudgal Puran, describing the legend of Lambodara, dedicated to Sri Gajanana. End of chapter 35.